Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of British coin collecting as we explore the top 5 most valuable United Kingdom halfpenny coins. The halfpenny was once a very common coin in the UK, used in everyday transactions for decades before it was withdrawn from circulation in 1942. While many halfpennies are only worth a small amount today, some rare years, special mint marks, and unique conditions can make certain coins extremely valuable to collectors. Let's get started. First up, the 1942 United Kingdom halfpenny. Many collectors are curious about this coin because it comes from the World War II era and is often found today in worn or dark black shade condition. In this video, we will explore the history of the coin, its unique features, how rare it really is, and most importantly, how much it can sell for at auctions today in US dollars. If you enjoy learning about old coins and their hidden value, make sure you watch until the end. The 1942 halfpenny was issued in the United Kingdom during the reign of King George VI, who ruled from 1936 to 1952. This coin belongs to the pre-decimal British currency system that existed before 1971. At that time, British money was divided into pounds, shillings, and pennies, and the halfpenny represented half of a penny. This coin was produced during World War II, a time when Britain was heavily involved in the global conflict. Despite the war, everyday commerce continued, and coins like the halfpenny were widely used for small purchases such as newspapers, sweets, and public transport fares. In 1942, the Royal Mint produced more than 71 million halfpenny coins, which means the coin was fairly common in circulation at the time. Because of the high production numbers, many of these coins survived, although most of them today appear worn or dark due to age and oxidation of the bronze metal. The 1942 halfpenny has a classic and iconic design that many collectors appreciate. On the front side of the coin, also known as the obverse, you will see a portrait of King George VI facing left. Around the portrait is the Latin inscription that translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. The reverse side of the coin features one of the most famous designs in British coinage, a detailed image of Golden Hind ship, the historic sailing ship associated with the explorer Sir Francis Drake. Above the ship is the denomination halfpenny, and the date 1942 appears below. In terms of specifications, the coin is made of bronze, weighs about 5.7 grams, and has a diameter of approximately 25.5 millimeters with a plain edge. These coins were struck in London at the Royal Mint and were intended for everyday circulation. When collectors talk about the value of coins, condition plays a very important role. Many 1942 halfpennies today are found in what collectors call black shade condition. This means the coin has darkened over time due to oxidation, dirt, or environmental exposure. Because the coin was minted in very large numbers, it is generally considered a common date coin. However, collectors still appreciate it because of its historical connection to the World War II era and its beautiful ship design. In damaged or heavily worn condition, the coin usually has only a small collector value. Nevertheless, some collectors enjoy collecting different grades of the coin, from heavily circulated examples to bright uncirculated pieces. Now let's talk about the most exciting question: how much is the 1942 United Kingdom halfpenny worth today? According to coin price guides and auction data, the value of the coin depends heavily on its condition. In very worn condition, the coin may only be worth around $321,000. In average circulated condition, it may sell for around $116,000. If the coin is in extremely fine or nearly uncirculated condition, it can reach $5 to $8 or sometimes slightly higher at auctions. Some auction records have shown examples selling for around $30 for well-preserved pieces, although that is usually for coins in much better condition than typical circulated examples. So while the 1942 halfpenny is not usually a $1 million coin, it can still be a valuable collectible depending on its condition. If you own a 1942 halfpenny or are thinking about collecting one, here are a few useful tips. Always check the condition carefully. Coins with sharp details, clear lettering, and minimal wear are much more valuable than heavily worn coins. Avoid cleaning old coins. Cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce the coin's collector value. Consider storing the coin in a protective holder or coin album. This helps prevent further damage and preserves its condition for the future. If you believe your coin is in exceptional condition, you might consider having it graded by a professional coin grading service. In conclusion, the 1942 United Kingdom halfpenny is an interesting historical coin that reflects Britain's wartime economy during World War II. Although it was minted in large numbers and is generally common, it remains popular among collectors because of its classic design featuring the Golden Hind ship and the portrait of King George VI. Even coins in dark or black shade condition can still be enjoyable pieces of history to own. While most examples are worth only a few cents to a few dollars, well-preserved coins can sometimes reach higher prices at auctions. If you happen to find one of these coins in an old collection or a box of inherited coins, take a closer look, you might be holding a small but fascinating piece of history. Next up, the 1943 halfpenny from the United Kingdom. At first glance, this small bronze coin may look ordinary, especially when it appears worn or circulated. But behind its simple design lies an interesting story connected to wartime Britain, historical craftsmanship, and the world of coin collecting. In today's video, we'll explore the history of the coin, examine its unique design features, discuss how rare it really is in circulated condition, and reveal its current auction market value in US dollars. If you collect historic coins or enjoy learning about valuable currency from around the world, this video will give you everything you need to know about the 1943 British halfpenny. The 1943 halfpenny was issued during the reign of George VI, a period when Britain was deeply involved in World War II. Coins like the halfpenny played an important role in everyday commerce, helping people buy basic goods during difficult economic times. The coin was produced by the Royal Mint in London and was part of Britain's pre-decimal currency system. At that time, £1 was divided into 20 shillings, and each shilling contained 12 pence. A halfpenny was therefore a very small denomination but widely used in daily transactions. In 1943, approximately 76.2 million halfpennies were minted, meaning the coin was produced in large quantities to meet the needs of the public during wartime. Because of this large mintage, the coin is generally considered common today, although well-preserved pieces can still attract collector interest. These coins remained in circulation for decades and were officially withdrawn in 1969 as the United Kingdom prepared to change to a decimal currency system. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1943 halfpenny is its artistic design. The coin is made from bronze, weighs about 5.6 grams, and has a diameter of approximately 25.5 millimeters. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of King George VI facing left. Around the portrait appears the Latin inscription Georgievs 6D GBROMN Rex F laughing smiley NDAMP. This phrase translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. On the reverse side, the coin displays one of the most recognizable designs in British coinage history, the famous sailing ship known as the Golden Hind, associated with the legendary explorer Sir Francis Drake. The ship sails across stylized waves, symbolizing Britain's naval heritage and maritime power. Above the ship appears the denomination halfpenny, while the date 1943 is placed below. Because millions of these coins were minted, the 1943 halfpenny is not considered extremely rare. In fact, it is classified as a common coin among collectors of British pre-decimal currency. However, condition plays a huge role in determining value. Most surviving examples today are heavily circulated, meaning they show signs of wear, scratches, or dark toning from decades of use. Coins in damaged or worn condition typically have much lower market demand. Even so, collectors still appreciate circulated coins because they represent real pieces of history. A worn halfpenny might have passed through thousands of hands during World War II and the post-war years. For many collectors, that historical journey adds sentimental and historical value, even if the monetary value is modest. So how much is a 1943 United Kingdom halfpenny worth today? The answer depends mainly on the coin's condition. According to coin value guides and auction data, a heavily circulated example can sell for around 5 pence to 15 pence, which equals roughly 6 cents to 20 cents. Coins in better circulated condition, such as fine or very fine, may reach about $431,000, or approximately $116,000. Higher grade coins that are nearly uncirculated can reach or more, which is roughly $322,000 in today's market. Occasionally, exceptional specimens graded by professional services or sold at major auctions can achieve much higher prices. Some auction records have shown prices around $40 for top-quality examples, especially when the coin is nearly perfect. So while a circulated 1943 halfpenny isn't extremely valuable, it still holds collectible appeal and historical significance. If you are interested in collecting the 1943 halfpenny or other historic British coins, here are a few useful tips. Always check the condition of the coin carefully. Even small differences in wear can significantly affect the value. Coins with clearer details, sharper lettering, and less surface damage will always attract higher prices. Avoid cleaning old coins. Cleaning can remove the natural patina and may reduce the coin's collector value. Many experienced collectors prefer coins with original surfaces, even if they appear darker or toned. Store your coins properly. Using protective holders, coin albums, or capsules can prevent scratches and environmental damage. Proper storage helps preserve the coin's condition and long-term value. Research auction results and coin catalogs to stay updated on market prices. The value of collectible coins can change depending on demand and the number of available examples. To sum up, the 1943 United Kingdom halfpenny is a fascinating reminder of Britain's wartime history and the everyday currency people used during the 1940s. Featuring the portrait of King George VI and the iconic Golden Hind ship, the coin combines historical significance with beautiful classic design. Although millions were minted and circulated examples are relatively common, the coin still holds value for collectors who appreciate British pre-decimal coinage. Most circulated coins sell for less than $1, while high-quality pieces can bring several dollars or more at auction. Next up, the 1963 United Kingdom halfpenny. At first glance, this small bronze coin might look ordinary, but many collectors are curious about its rarity and auction value. Could a simple halfpenny from 1963 actually be worth real money today? In this video, we'll explore the history of the coin, its design features, collector demand, and the possible market value in US dollars. If you enjoy coin collecting or searching through old coins for hidden treasures, this video is definitely for you. The 1963 halfpenny was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who appeared on British coinage for decades. This coin belongs to the pre-decimal British currency system, which was used before the major currency reform in 1971. At that time, British money was divided into pounds, shillings, and pence, and the halfpenny represented half of 1 penny. The coin was minted at the famous Royal Mint in London and was made primarily for everyday circulation. In fact, around 44 to 45 million coins were produced in 1963, making it fairly common compared with some earlier halfpenny issues. Despite its high mintage, the coin remains historically interesting because it represents one of the final decades of the traditional British currency system before decimalisation. Halfpennies like this continued circulating until the late 1960s, when they were withdrawn ahead of the currency change. The 1963 halfpenny has several distinctive design elements that collectors appreciate. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring her youthful first portrait designed by artist Mary Gillick. The Latin inscription surrounding the portrait translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse side displays one of the most iconic images in British coinage, the famous ship known as the Golden Hind, associated with the explorer Francis Drake. Above the ship appears the inscription halfpenny, while the year 1963 is shown below the design. In terms of physical specifications, the coin is made of bronze, weighs around 5.67 grams, and has a diameter of about 25.5 millimeters with a smooth edge. These characteristics were standard for halfpennies of this era. Because millions of these coins were produced, the 1963 halfpenny is generally considered a common coin among collectors. However, rarity in coin collecting is not determined by mintage alone. Condition plays a major role in determining value. In heavily circulated or damaged condition, meaning coins that are worn, scratched, or darkened from years of use, the value is usually very low. Many collectors may only pay a few cents to a few dozen cents for such coins. Even so, beginners often collect them as part of a complete set of British halfpennies from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Interestingly, coins that have survived in better condition, such as fine, very fine, or uncirculated, can attract higher interest from collectors. The sharper the details and the less where the coin shows, the more desirable it becomes in the numismatic market. Now let's talk about the value. According to coin value guides, a typical 1963 UK halfpenny can range from about 5 pence to £1.50 depending on its condition, with higher grades worth more. Converted into US dollars, this usually equals roughly 10 cents to about $2 for most circulated examples. Some listings show values around 59 cents to 82 cents for average collectible conditions. However, exceptional specimens in high mint state grades can sell for significantly more in auctions. For example, a graded mint state 1963 halfpenny has been recorded selling for around $30 in an online auction, demonstrating how condition dramatically affects price. So while the average coin may not make you rich, a pristine example could still be a valuable addition to a collector's set. If you're hoping to find or collect a 1963 halfpenny, here are a few useful tips. First, always check the coin's condition carefully. Look for clear details in the ship design and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The less wear on the coin, the better its potential value. Avoid cleaning coins. Cleaning may seem like a good idea, but it can actually reduce the coin's value significantly because collectors prefer original surfaces. Consider storing your coins properly. Using coin holders, capsules, or albums can help protect them from scratches, moisture, and corrosion. If you think you have a high-quality specimen, you might want to consider professional grading. Certified coins often sell for higher prices because buyers trust the condition assessment. To sum up, the 1963 United Kingdom halfpenny is an interesting piece of British monetary history. While it was produced in large numbers and is generally considered common, it still holds collectible value, especially when found in excellent condition. Most circulated coins are worth only a few cents to a couple of dollars, but rare high-grade examples can sell for much more at auction. For collectors and history lovers alike, This coin represents a fascinating reminder of the era before Britain switched to decimal currency. Next up, the United Kingdom halfpenny 1939 is an interesting and historically significant coin that attracts attention from coin collectors around the world. Even when found in a dirty or heavily circulated condition, this small bronze coin still carries value because of its age, historical background, and collector interest. Coins from the late 1930s represent a time when the world was entering a very dramatic period in history. For many collectors, finding a 1939 halfpenny in any condition can be exciting, especially when it still shows identifiable details. In today's video, we will explore the story behind the 1939 United Kingdom halfpenny, its design features, its rarity in worn or dirty condition, and most importantly its potential auction market value in US dollars. The 1939 halfpenny was issued during the reign of King George VI, who became king after the abdication of King Edward VIII in 1936. The coin was produced by the Royal Mint, which has been responsible for manufacturing British coins for centuries. The year 1939 is particularly important because it marked the beginning of World War II. During this time, millions of everyday coins such as halfpennies circulated widely among the public for daily transactions. The halfpenny was a very small denomination in the old British currency system. At that time, the British pound was divided into 240 pennies, and a halfpenny represented half of 1 penny. Although its monetary value was very small, the coin played an important role in everyday commerce. People used halfpennies for small purchases like newspapers, sweets, and other inexpensive items. Because these coins circulated heavily, many surviving examples today appear worn, dirty, or damaged. The design of the 1939 halfpenny is simple yet beautiful. On the obverse side of the coin, you will find the portrait of King George VI facing left. Around the portrait is the Latin inscription Georgiv 6DGBROMN Rex F laughing smiley INDIMP, which translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. This inscription reflects the vast reach of the British Empire during that era. The reverse side of the coin features the famous design of the seated figure of Britannia. Britannia is shown holding a trident and shield while facing the sea. This design symbolizes Britain's strong naval power and its identity as an island nation. The word halfpenny appears above Britannia, while the date 1939 appears below. The coin itself was made from bronze and typically weighs about 5.67 grams with a diameter of approximately 25 millimeters. Even when a coin is dirty or worn, the basic shape and parts of the design usually remain visible, which helps collectors identify it easily. The 1939 halfpenny is not considered extremely rare in general, because millions of these coins were minted. However, many were lost, melted, or worn down during decades of circulation. Because of this, collectors still look for surviving examples to complete historical coin sets. When a coin is in dirty condition, it means the coin has been exposed to soil, oxidation, corrosion, or long-term circulation. This often causes dark surfaces, scratches, and faded details. While such damage lowers the overall value compared to high-grade examples, collectors still appreciate these coins for their historical connection. For beginner collectors especially, a dirty or circulated 1939 halfpenny can be an affordable way to start collecting older British coins. Some collectors even prefer original, uncleaned coins because they show natural aging and history. The market value of a 1939 United Kingdom halfpenny depends heavily on its condition. Coins in extremely worn or dirty condition typically sell for a modest price. In many online marketplaces and auctions, a heavily circulated or dirty example might sell for approximately $1 to $5. If the coin still shows moderate details despite dirt or wear, it might reach $5 to $15 depending on collector interest. Better preserved coins with clearer details can sell for $20 or more. However, coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can sometimes reach much higher prices at specialized auctions. It is important to note that actual auction prices can vary depending on demand, coin grading, and where the coin is sold. Online auction platforms and coin collecting communities can influence the final price significantly. For collectors who come across a 1939 halfpenny in dirty condition, there are several important tips to remember. First, avoid aggressively cleaning the coin. Harsh cleaning can permanently damage the coin's surface and reduce its value. Many collectors prefer coins with their natural patina. Carefully examine the coin under good lighting. Look for visible details in the portrait of King George VI and the Britannia design. Even worn coins can sometimes reveal interesting characteristics. Store the coin properly in a coin holder or protective capsule. This will prevent further damage from moisture or environmental exposure. Proper storage helps preserve the coin for future collectors. If you believe your coin might be in better condition than expected, consider having it evaluated by a professional coin dealer or grading service. The United Kingdom halfpenny of 1939 may appear small and modest, especially when found in dirty or worn condition. However, this coin carries a fascinating story from an important period in history. Produced by the Royal Mint during the reign of King George VI and at the start of World War II, it represents a piece of everyday life from more than 8 decades ago. Even though dirty examples may only sell for a few dollars, they still hold value as collectible historical artifacts. For many coin enthusiasts, owning a 1939 halfpenny is not just about the price, but about preserving a small piece of the past. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, this humble bronze coin reminds us that even the smallest currency can carry a rich and meaningful history. Next up, the 1948 United Kingdom halfpenny, especially in fine condition. Many collectors and beginners often wonder whether this small bronze coin could be hiding real value. In this video, we'll explore the coin's history, its design features, rarity among collectors, and most importantly its auction market value in dollars. Even though this coin was once used for everyday purchases in Britain, some examples today attract attention from collectors around the world. The 1948 halfpenny was issued during the reign of King George VI, a period when the United Kingdom was recovering from the effects of World War II. At that time, the British monetary system used pre-decimal currency, meaning 2 halfpennies equaled 1 penny, and 240 pennies equaled 1 pound. These coins circulated widely in everyday transactions such as buying newspapers, sweets, or small household items. The coin was minted by the Royal Mint in London, and approximately 26,947,200 pieces were produced in 1948. Because of this relatively large mintage, the coin is generally considered common in circulated grades. However, its historical significance as a post-war British coin makes it a favourite among collectors of pre-decimal currency. The coin remained in circulation until 1969, when halfpennies were officially withdrawn before the UK switched to the decimal currency system. One of the most attractive aspects of the 1948 halfpenny is its classic design. On the obverse side, the coin features the portrait of King George VI, facing left. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin inscription that translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. This design was created by the artist Thomas Humphrey Paget, whose initials appear below the king's neck. The reverse side of the coin displays the famous sailing ship Golden Hind, the vessel used by the English explorer Sir Francis Drake during his circumnavigation of the world in the 16th century. Above the ship are the words halfpenny, while the year 1948 appears at the bottom. In terms of specifications, the coin is made from bronze, weighs about 5.67 grams, and has a diameter of roughly 25.5 millimeters. Its edge is plain, and its round shape is typical of British bronze coins from the era. Although the 1948 halfpenny is not considered extremely rare due to its large mintage, its value can vary greatly depending on the condition. Coins found in heavily worn or damaged condition are quite common because millions of them circulated for decades. Many pieces today show scratches, corrosion, or dark toning from long periods of use. However, collectors still purchase these coins for historical collections or date sets of King George VI coinage. Even a damaged or circulated example may attract beginner collectors who want to complete a full set of halfpennies from different years. The real rarity appears when the coin is found in higher grades, especially uncirculated examples with original mint luster. Such coins are far less common because most of them were used in daily transactions and experienced heavy wear. Now let's talk about what most viewers want to know: how much the 1948 halfpenny is worth today. The value of this coin depends mainly on its condition, in fine condition, which means the coin shows moderate wear but most details remain visible. The typical retail value is about 15 pence, which equals roughly 20 cents to 25 cents US dollars depending on the exchange rate. Coins in very fine condition may sell for around 50 cents, while extremely fine examples can reach around $1 to $1.50. If a collector finds an uncirculated coin, the value can climb to about $7 or even slightly more at auction, especially if the coin has strong eye appeal and original color. Although these values may not seem very high, collectors still appreciate the coin for its history and design, and rare high-grade pieces occasionally sell for higher prices in specialized coin auctions. If you're planning to collect or invest in British halfpennies, there are several helpful tips to keep in mind. First, always pay close attention to the coin's condition, because even small differences in wear can significantly affect its value. Coins with clear ship details, readable lettering, and minimal scratches are usually more desirable. Avoid cleaning the coin. Many beginners attempt to polish old coins to make them shiny, but this can actually damage the surface and reduce their collector value. Consider collecting complete year sets of halfpennies from the King George VI era. Building a full series often increases the overall appeal and potential resale value of your collection. When buying coins online or at auctions, compare prices from multiple sellers to make sure you're paying a fair market price. To sum up, the United Kingdom halfpenny 1948 is a fascinating piece of British history. While it may not be extremely rare, it represents a unique period in the post-war economy and features a beautiful design showcasing Sir Francis Drake's famous ship. In fine condition, the coin usually sells for only a few cents to about $0.25, but higher-grade examples can reach several dollars at auction. For collectors, the true value of this coin goes beyond its price. It tells the story of a time when small bronze coins were part of everyday life in Britain. Whether you find one in an old collection, a coin shop, or a flea market, the 1948 halfpenny remains a wonderful addition to any historical coin collection. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next coin collecting discovery.